Hi, I'm Janet Kurtz, Editor-in-Chief of InFocus.
And I'm Madeline Bradford, the Associate Editor of InFocus.
We are back with a very busy week, and we are so excited to tell you about it. We have so many great events, including Steeplechase.
That's right.
And a couple interviews leading up to the Swan Ball auction party. So we're excited to bring that to you. And I think we just need to kick it off.
We do. We have a lot to get through today, but it's all so many fun things.
That's right. That's right. Well, why don't you start us off? You went to the Tiffany Circle Spring Gathering.
I did. That's how I started off my week on Monday. And every single spring, the women of the Tiffany Circle unite to celebrate the crucial work of the American Red Cross. And it's the one night of year when members' significant others are invited to join the fun and learn more about the organization. And since 2006, the Nashville Tiffany Circle chapter has supported the American Red Cross's essential disaster relief, veteran support, and blood donation services. And the women in the organization are so dedicated, and they invest their time, talent, and treasure into the organization to not only aid in times of crisis, but also help prevent them. And to emphasize this impact, they brought in Jarrett Barrios as a keynote speaker, and he is the Senior Vice President for Services to the Armed Forces and International Services at the American Red Cross. He spoke about Clara Barton's reputation as the angel of the battlefield and how she still inspires the Red Cross's mission to this day. And I think one of the most touching moments for me is when Jarrett mentioned that Clara Barton was the first woman to have a non-secretarial role in the U.S. government.
Wow.
And then Tiffany Circle member Katie Crumbo spoke up and said, we should applaud for that, and called for a moment of applause. And to me, the evening really just was full of pride for the organization. And it's so clear that every single one of those members is so dedicated to the cause and is excited to look back on the past of the Red Cross, but more importantly, where we're going in the future.
That's amazing. And it always is striking to me in attending and covering those events, specifically for the Tiffany Circle, is just how close that membership is and how there's really such a room full of support for women supporting other women. It's
Exactly.
amazing. Yeah. So wonderful. Well, that sounds incredible.
It was.
A couple nights later, I actually went to the Cheekwood Society dinner.
Oh, lovely. How was that?
It was fabulous. And I am going to talk about a few points because there was so much, but there was also a very exciting announcement that I can't wait to share.
Ooh.
So, this is for members, this dinner is for members of the Cheekwood Society. So they gather together every year and honor those who have supported Cheekwood and really those who have outstanding achievements honoring Cheekwood. So I do want to say Amos Scott created a beautiful motif with a subtle nod to America's 250th birthday. So that was very exciting. So you can imagine the linens had a subtle red, white, and blue pattern to them. He also used willow baskets playing against the rattan shades on the chandeliers in the dining tent and the basket chandeliers in the cocktail tent.
Wow.
So really pretty. Flavor Catering created a refined American-style menu, complete with a deconstructed apple pie. What's more American than that?
Sounds delicious.
Absolutely. So I'm going to go a little bit out of order from the program, but it's because I want to save the announcement for last.
Yeah.
So we'll start with the awards. The Jane and Guilford Dudley Award for Excellence in Philanthropy went to InFocus friend Neil Krugman. And, Neil is everywhere. I mean, we see him. He just has so much capacity and a heart for giving and supporting these nonprofits. And Cheekwood, of course, is one of them. So he won that award. Now, they also have an award, a corporate award. It's called the Cheekwood Corporate Award for Excellence in Philanthropy. And that went to Genesco. So obviously has deep ties to the community, and that was a wonderful to recognize them for their support of Cheekwood as well. And then finally, the James A. Webb III Award for Extraordinary Service to Cheekwood went to Debbie Pitts.
Amazing.
Who has just done wonders with the Horticultural Society of Middle Tennessee and is such a huge supporter of Cheekwood. So that was very exciting to see her win that award and be honored in such a beautiful way.
That's incredible.
It was. So now, the big announcement came from President and CEO Jane McLeod. As many of our audience knows, quietly, Cheekwood has been working on raising money for a new parking structure. This has been something that has been in the works and necessary for a while.
Right.
So they have been quietly raising money. And on this night, Jane announced from the stage that they have raised $22 million of the $26 million needed for this parking structure.
Wow.
So I know 4 million is a big number, but they're so close to that final goal. And I just think that was so amazing. And so then, of course, she invited a group to the stage who were the major supporters and had the room do a champagne toast in honor of this big announcement.
How exciting.
Yes, I know. And that's going to be such a great thing for Cheekwood to be able to have.
Absolutely.
And, I think that'll be very exciting. So
wow. Well, that sounds like a fantastic evening.
Yes, it really, really was. I don't know. It was, again, a group of supporters coming together, and there was a great atmosphere in the room.
I love that. Well, speaking of great atmosphere, you also went to the Warner Parks Spring Luncheon.
Yes, I did. Yes, different atmosphere. So we're also still out in the open, but on a beautiful, crisp, sunny day. Our weather was a little all over the place last week.
It was.
And so there were kind of some costume changes happening. I was at one event, and then I'm, taking off a jacket for the Warner Parks Spring Luncheon. But really, while the day started out chilly, it turned into a gorgeous way to spend an afternoon in the park. The annual Warner Park Spring Luncheon is an alfresco luncheon that celebrates the work by the Friends of Warner Parks. So this year we had co-chairs Kathy Greer, Jody Lawton, Ali Sanchez, and Caroline Tompkins. And so they were there in just beautiful spring attire, visiting with guests, but they had also been integral in really creating the day. And as usual on beautiful spring days like this, it is a little difficult to transition guests from having fun during the reception into the tent for lunch.
That's right.
That's a mammoth job, but they did it. And so we got everybody seated. Jenny Hannon, the president of the Friends of Warner Park, opened with such a great visual. She said, last year, I had everybody close their eyes and imagine what your life would be like without Warner Parks. And she said, sadly, this year we learned that we didn't have to close our eyes. They lost almost 5,000 trees in the ice storm in January. And so while they will rebuild the tree canopy and they are working to identify still kind of where their focus needs to be, they were able to reopen the parks after a relatively short amount of time, where people who love that space go to, clear your head or just have a walk with a friend. That was taken away for a brief moment. And I think everybody realized the importance of the parks and what the parks mean to them personally.
Wow, that is so beautiful.
It really was. And I have to tell you, the lunch was fantastic. It was this beautiful grilled chicken on this bed of rice with crispy chickpeas and golden raisins. And it was just delicious. So it was fantastic.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, yes. Well, we continue the theme of being outside that day.
We do.
You went to the Call of the Wild dinner at the zoo.
Yes. This was on Thursday night, so it was a little more brisk, a little more chilly. Yes. Everyone was in their fall attire, but of course in animal print, which is signature for Nashville Zoo events.
That's right.
And I have to say, the Call of the Wild dinner was probably one of the most star-studded events I've been to this year, thanks to the adorable animal ambassadors.
Aww.
All throughout the area.
Yeah.
There was a pair of adorable tortoises, a sloth named Gully, who is Fern's boyfriend. It was lovely to meet him for the first time. Sasha, the Burmese python, made an appearance.
Okay.
She was snaking up the wall right by the entry, and I've never been that close to a snake that big.
Right. Yeah, no, she's been making quite the social circuit these days.
She really has, but she was very calm, very well-tempered. There was also a juvenile African serval named Alexander Hamilton. He was absolutely adorable. He was kind of hidden in the bushes, but two of his keepers were playing with him with a little ball, and he just kind of looked like a house cat. I kind of just wanted to take him home.
Yeah.
And then there was also a vulture named Wednesday,
Oh.
And it was really fun to get to watch her fly. And she has such powerful wings. And
Yeah.
I would never think that a vulture would be cute, but when she would walk, she would kind of trot around and was very heavy footed.
Oh, interesting.
I know.
Okay.
I know. But that was really
watch
fun to
that.
see. And I think one of the most fun parts of the event was watching the crowd reactions to the animals. Like so many oohs and ahs. Everybody there, obviously supporters of the Nashville Zoo, but they're so invested in the wildlife that Nashville Zoo takes care of. And it was so fun getting to see them interact with the zoo employees to learn more about these creatures. And President and CEO Rick Schwartz addressed the crowd inside a beautiful, cozy tent at the Jungle Terrace. And he shared how excited he is to be working on the largest project that the zoo is working on, which is the orangutan exhibit, which is the largest in the country.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And that is going to be so big, and it has other elements to it, like the tree kangaroos that we talked about last month, I think. And so that's going to be really exciting.
Absolutely. And then his wife, Heather Schwartz, also gave a very insightful speech on species survival plans, or SSPs. And the zoo has over 50 SSPs. And she really highlighted the range of these and how they take care of animals from small reptiles to the bigger key species like the Amur leopards.
Yes. Amazing. And I mean, it's so multifaceted out there, what they're doing. And even with the hellbenders and then re-releasing them back into the wild after raising them, it's so it's so interesting.
It is.
Yeah. I mean, we could write books on this.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, when I was there, you were at the Homes of Distinction party.
I was. So each year In Focus has kind of an issue launch, really, of our Homes of Distinction issue. And this year, the Homes of Distinction party was presented by Myers Flooring and was held at the Manning, which you and I had just been to a couple days before for our Fresh Faces of Philanthropy
It's a beautiful
photo shoot.
space.
It's beautiful. It is so stunning. It's a luxury residence on Woodmont Boulevard. The design, wouldn't you agree, is a very clean look, well-designed common areas throughout. I have to say one of my favorite spots is the library. But there are the dining rooms, the boardrooms. There's kind of a kitchen where on Wine Wednesdays, all the residents get together and just gather and have kind of like a community time, which is great. And I love that as well. That evening, the penthouse was open, so you had these sweeping views of Nashville, which was great. Of course, that space is so expansive. And then they also had Unit 302, which is in our current Homes of Distinction issue. So find that on newsstands. But you'll see that it was actually designed by Robin Raines. And you know this because you wrote about that one.
Yeah.
I think, right? Yes. And what a beautiful unit. I mean,
it's gorgeous. And Robin Raines really incorporated a lot of antiques in a beautiful way that feels reminiscent to old times, but also very contemporary.
And I'm so convinced that one of those there's a dog vignette. And
Yes.
I'm so convinced that one of those is of Portuguese water
I
dogs.
think you're right.
I really believe that. I'm going to go with that. But I love it so much. And then they also opened Unit 402 with a similar floor plan, but different design. And both of them were just beautiful. It was kind of a progressive dinner night. So as you went through the units and through the common spaces, there were different bites everywhere. And so that made it kind of fun to be able to say, oh, here's another surprise and delight. And, and a tasty treat as well. So that was kind of fun. There were installations by Tiba, Hostess and Home, Bella Linea. Myers Flooring added a pop of fun to the In Focus Portrait Studio with a black and white outdoor rug. That was really fun. And, at the end of the day, it's so great to connect with so many of our In Focus friends at that event.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
It was really wonderful. So anyway, that was a lot of fun. And, we'll be talking about it in our June issue.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. It's the big one.
Steeplechase.
The
It was 85th Steeplechase.
Weekend. 85th. Yes, you are so right. And it was another record-breaking year.
It was.
So 35,000 people show up at the Steeplechase grounds every year. And they arrive early. They set up their boxes, mounds of chicken salad, pimento cheese sandwiches, finger foods, desserts everywhere.
There were some beautiful food spreads this year.
Gosh, weren't they?
I had so much fun walking around.
Yes, I know. And it really was just like, it's a delight for the senses, right?
It is.
Yeah. The buffets in the Paddock Club and Iroquois Society were bountiful, and so people really enjoyed that. And then, of course, people visited the In Focus Portrait Studio to enter the In Focus Steeplechase Style Contest presented by Oak Hall.
And it was a steep competition this year.
Yes.
There were so many good looks out on the field.
Yes, there really were. It was yeah, I mean, it was very difficult to decide the style contest. So that was great. But you know what was really interesting this year was that the organizers added a musical component.
That's right.
Yes, we're in Music City.
We are. So it's only fitting.
Let's do it. And it was headlined by Fillmore. So that made it really fun and interactive for guests. They had a great time with that. And as usual, we had the Parade of Hounds led by Mel's Foxhounds.
Which is so much fun to watch.
Oh, I know.
What a great way to kick off race day.
It really is. I love those little guys. They're so cute. You know, we also had the traditional stick horse race.
Which is always so cute.
So cute for the small little steeplechasers.
Yes.
And they're all like in their little suits or dresses. And
precious.
So cute. I loved that. And like we said, competition was strong this year for the style contest.
It was. And you touched on this so eloquently on race day, but it really is all about showcasing your own personal style and what feels authentic to you. And I really feel like the crowd did that exceptionally this year.
They really did. Everybody was very comfortable in their looks and style. So our winners, we had Most Stylish Female, Keena Rankin, Most Stylish Man. He is a designer, so he comes by it honestly. Jeff Garner, Best Dressed Duo, Memory White and her son Donovan. So cute.
Loved their look.
I know, so cute. And then Most Fun Look was Amber Gillock. Best Hat was Julie Schneider. So congratulations to our winners this year.
Yes.
Thank you for participating and coming down on the field with us. It was a lot of fun.
You all looked fantastic.
Yes, you did. Absolutely. Well, we would be remiss if we didn't talk about some races.
Yes. And it's always so thrilling to watch the horses and feel that pounding in your chest as they're racing by you.
Yes, that's exactly right. And we heard that line over and over and over again. And I think we were watching a couple races pretty closely to see how some local owners would do.
That's right.
This year. And we had a lot of local owners and participation trainers, well, not trainers, but a lot of local owners. So that was really interesting. So in race 5, Upland Flats had a horse named Swore, who was a favorite to win. And so you and I were standing beside each other. So I think like we had the energy that was
totally
going.
did.
Yeah. So not only was the thundering of the horses as they went by, I think my heart was like in my chest, you know, like pounding so hard.
I know.
And so we're watching this, and then of course they go around. So we're watching it on the Jumbotron, and Swore stayed in the lead the entire time.
I was amazed.
Yes.
But then
until the heartbreak, which happens, is that he was overtaken by Zeeble Champion, and he and Swore lost by inches.
It was such a close race.
So close.
And our senior photographer, Eric England, showed us shots of the horses that he took at that race, and they literally had a matching stride. They were so close
Oh
together.
my gosh. It was just, you know, I mean, congratulations to the winners, but we were sad to see the one that we were watching got placed second. So congratulations. And we're looking forward to seeing him out on the track more.
That's right.
And then for race number 6, we were watching Crispin Menefee's horse, Colby's Smile.
Yes.
And I had met Colby's Smile earlier in the week, just before I went to the Fair Parks Luncheon. And this is the sweetest horse on the planet.
Such a beautiful horse. The gray speckled coat is gorgeous.
Oh my gosh, so beautiful. One best turned out horse for that race.
Yes.
And absolutely stunning horse. So after a busy week, we now look forward to this week. And I had the chance to sit down with the Swan Ball auction party co-chairs, Grace Clayton and Ann Williford, and talk about the upcoming auction party this week. It's pretty exciting. So let's have a listen. Here today with the Swan Ball auction party chairs, Grace Clayton and Ann Williford. Thank you so much for being here today.
Hey, thank you so much for having us. We're so excited.
Yes. Well, I'm so excited to hear about some of the details and share with our audience some of the details that are upcoming in what we always talk about around the office as the auction party, because people just know what we're talking about. So anyway, let's dive in, because I really want to hear about what the two of you are most excited about in the upcoming auction party.
Absolutely. And I'll let you go first because I tend to overpower.
Well, I'm very excited. We've just been able to go to see a preview for these auction items. And I think the auction items are going to be wonderful this year.
That's great. I know. And we're going to dive into that in just a second. But I want to hear, so Grace, what about the party that you're most excited about?
Well, everything is pink, 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 because that is what the Jennies wanted. So Jenny Garthlow and Jenny Richter Courts requested pink, and we delivered. Sarah Garner with Jackson Durham is our event planner, and she has gone all the way to Dallas to have custom bars curated for this event. And we have a real big surprise as a centerpiece that I don't want to share yet, but I feel like possibly it's going to be used for many years to come.
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, on future Swan Ball party. So we're very excited about the decor and the whole vibe.
Every year, the auction is lively, it's exciting, and we always hear about throughout the year people who have taken the trips or who have bought the items and their experiences with them. Tell me about if you two have some favorite auction items that are coming up that you are excited about.
We want to go to Newport.
We want to go to Newport
together.
We're pretty into the Gilded Age.
Yes.
Yeah, and we're 43, and that sounds fun.
Yes.
So we want to go and look at the Vanderbilt homes and experience that. And we're talking about doing that with our mothers. And then if we want to get real wild, we might end up in Bali. But that sounds like a really amazing trip.
That's two very distinct places.
Well, Newport to Bali. Yeah. It's a new bumper sticker. So
yes, that's right.
We're pretty excited about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, and there are so many other great auction items.
I mean, we'll go to Paris. We'll go to France.
We'll go to Canada.
We'll go to Canada with the polar bears. I have read many Swan Ball auction brochure in my life. We have both been involved in the Swan Ball
for a long time,
since as early as they would let us, from watching our parents attend to then being on the dance committee and then attending again. And I've actually been the auctioneer one time at the Big Ball for the 50th. So
wow.
Yes, so I've seen a lot of auction items, and I think this year's chairs really knocked it out of the park. You really can't go wrong. I mean, Terry Majors and Jody Madison absolutely knocked it out of the park. I have never seen such a wide array of travel opportunities and experiences that one can take by attending this party.
That sounds incredible. And I've seen the auction items as well, and they are just absolutely fantastic. And I cannot wait to be in the room to see.
Yes.
I know that they're going to do so well.
And Hugh Hauser is going to be accompanying this year as he did last year. So for the live auction, and that always adds a whole other level of entertainment.
Oh, fun.
So we can guarantee amazing trips, but we also are guaranteeing a really fun time.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And it's the same auctioneer as last year, and I think he did a flip off the stage.
Yeah.
He's very energetic.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's really great.
Yeah.
I think he flies in from England. He's wonderful.
And I don't think there's any other experience like this party in terms of auctions here in Nashville. I could speak for the nonprofit circuit in that sense. This is truly a special event.
No, it's going to be fantastic. And just on a personal level, I know, Grace, you shared a great story just now about being an auctioneer, but because this is such a legacy event, do you have any kind of favorite memories from Swan Ball's past?
I loved, when we were in college, we were on the dance committee, and that was so much fun because it gets you a glimpse into what the party's going to be like, gets people involved. And I can't remember who the band was, but I remember dancing all night long to, I think, until 2 a.m.
At the actual Swan Ball.
At the actual Swan Ball.
That was probably just last year, Ann. And we'll be doing it again.
We'll be doing it again.
First to go, last to leave.
Yeah, that's us.
Thank you, Anne and Grace. Thank you so much for visiting with us today. And we're so excited to see the auction party and see that special surprise that's coming.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be amazing. Again, shout out to Sarah Garner. She's making us look real good.
Yes. Well, great.
The party's going to be great.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much. And we'll be bringing you that coverage in good company next week. So be sure to look for it. So this is going to be a really exciting night, I think. So I'm looking forward to seeing everybody there and seeing how the bids go.
And what a great conversation. I really enjoyed editing that and hearing a little bit about all the auction items.
Yes, exactly. And then we also sat down with Dudley Richter of Richter's of Palm Beach, who's the official Swan Ball 2026 jeweler. And we talk about a piece that he donated to the auction, a beautiful bracelet by American jewelry artist David Webb. And it was so fascinating. You know, we could have had this conversation for hours and hours, but unfortunately we only had 3 minutes and 33 seconds. So, so let's listen to that and learn about this wonderful piece that's coming up for auction this week. Hi, I'm Janet Kurtz, Editor-in-Chief of In Focus, and we have a very exciting segment today. We are here with Dudley Richter of Richter's of Palm Beach, the official jeweler of Swan Ball 2026. Dudley, thank you so much for having us in your beautiful home.
Oh, pleasure to meet you all, and I'm glad to do this.
Well, wonderful. Well, I am wearing something very special today, and thank you for letting me model this for you right now. This beautiful bracelet is part of the Swan Ball auction that takes place this Thursday. Why don't you tell us a little bit about why this piece spoke to you specifically for the Swan Ball auction?
Well, the piece itself and the designer, American David Webb, is a very integral part of what I do. So we are mid-century jewelers from about World War II to about 2000.
Oh, wow.
So David Webb hit his pinnacle in the 1960s, but he came from North Carolina. He was born in 1925. He's self-taught artist, and he goes to New York at age 17. And by the time he's 23, he's already starting his own business. And why David Webb? Well, I wanted to pick something that incorporated much of what David Webb was about in the period. Some of his patrons in the 1950s and 60s were the high society of New York and Hollywood. It was Lauren Hutton, Lauren Bacall, Elizabeth Taylor, Duchess of Windsor. So he had an array of Jackie Kennedy Onassis. So I wanted to pick a piece of jewelry that wasn't so complicated.
Right.
It needed to be understood, but it exemplified what David Webb was all about. In this case, the chevron bracelet. So chevrons go back to the Middle Ages, and it was a symbol of strength. But David Webb's genius here is that the way the links are connected, there's a single spine that runs the length of the bracelet. In this case, because it's a single spine that he sort of started using in the 1950s, it allows the eye to delineate every link because it's so flexible. So it doesn't get muddled to the naked eye.
Right.
So that's one of the reasons I chose it. I think it's a perfect example of his bold use of material and not so complicated that when you put it on, it really can be dressed up or dressed down. It's an important piece of jewelry, very typical of David Webb from that period. And I wanted to pick out a piece of jewelry that was executed in his lifetime. Each chevron, you can see the delineated design, but also the craftsmanship. But this was really one of his iconic designs in the 1960s.
Well, this is spectacular, and I cannot wait to see who bids on and wins this beautiful piece this Thursday. So be on the lookout for In Good Company next week to see who won this bracelet. And Dudley, thank you so much for everything. We appreciate
You're quite
it.
welcome.
All right.
Pleasure.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, it was fun to model that piece too.
Well, it looked gorgeous on you.
I thought so too.
Yeah.
I agree.
You should keep your eye on that.
I really should. There are a lot of things I have my eye on.
Yeah, me too.
So that's our week.
It was such a good one.
It really was. So thank you to all of the nonprofits and organizers and co-chairs and everybody who includes us. This week, of course, we have the 125th Hermitage Spring outing.
Yes.
That's going to be so much fun. Of course, the Swan Ball auction party. And our roving reporter, Carrington Fox, visits with Debbie Pitts for a little bit of an elderflower lemonade taste test. And these are elderflowers that came from Debbie's backyard, from her garden.
Well, that sounds amazing. I can't wait to hear from Carrington about that.
I know. And she also goes, she takes a family heirloom to David Clare of Clare & Co. for help preserving this beautiful piece. And I was there for the before and after. It's stunning.
Ooh.
His work is amazing. So we can't wait to share that with you as well. So be on the lookout for that next week. We also talk about Perrin, the new cafe at Cheekwood, and Oh La La, the new French bistro, pastry shop, antique store,
all the things.
All the things. It really is multifaceted, but we also talk about that too.
Absolutely.
So be on the lookout for that next week. Be sure to subscribe, like to our YouTube channel, sign up for our newsletter, comment on our socials, and remember that with you, our In Focus friends, we're in good company.
Cheers.
Cheers.